Okay, and we are back once again in Sword Factory Reforged, and we finally have some sort of a brand new update to the game, which does actually bring in a few new exciting things, as well as a lot of needed bug fixes as well. So we're going to go over absolutely everything that this new update has to offer, and some of the brand new codes as well, so make sure you do stick around to see those. So let's just get straight into it. So you might have noticed when you rejoin the game recently, for most players, or at least some players, you'll see another sword actually sat down in your inventory. Now this is of course the Reforged sword. A lot of people actually lost this, they either just never received it in the first place, or you might have actually tried to sell it and it actually just said it kind of went into your backpack. However, now the sword is of course back right here, as you can see, with actually a really cool new design as well. Looks really nice there with a new like kind of colour as well. So of course that's always really good. I'm not exactly too sure in terms of its what it's actually worth. If it's somewhere, here we go, 150 times value. So that's pretty good, to be fair. It's actually a really good sword to use, especially if you can get it up in terms of its value as well. And I do believe a lot of people are probably selling this right now for a few gems. So if you do want to trade it, it's probably worth doing as well. But that is the first bug fix to the game. Another one as well is that the Azure mold actually got removed from the game with any existing ones as well. So if you did have one somehow, then it's now unfortunately gone. Now another really good fix as well. This is actually a really good one. As you can see, these portals down here, of course, when you were using your Pathfinder, usually you'll just end up falling through them and then you'll just end up back in your base without really knowing about it. So of course now we can actually AFK properly with this, because as you can see, I've now equipped my Pathfinder sword and that portal has now gone red, meaning that it is no longer accessible. So as long as you have a Pathfinder sword equipped, you cannot go through these portals, so meaning that you basically just can stay AFK for the whole time without really having to run into the problem of teleporting back to your base. So that is a really good and amazing fix right there. I'm really happy about that one, and I'm pretty sure most people will be as well. Another one as well is that achievements can no longer be claimed repeatedly. I believe sometimes people will be able to just like kind of spam click it, meaning that it will basically claim a few times over. However, now that is not possible whatsoever. As you can see, that daily reward is gone, and I believe it's the same thing for these as well. These might have been able to like kind of duplicate themselves and repeat and everything like that. So yeah, that is now no longer possible either. You can no longer pick up swords from anyone else that's dropped either, meaning that, you know, of course, if someone comes over to the sell station, picks up a sword, and let me just say, like, I just dropped my sword randomly here, usually anybody would be able to come up and pick this sword up. However, that is no longer possible anymore, and the same thing goes for like no longer drop swords into other people's playing machines, ascenders, bank sell stations, and bank stands as well. So basically, there's no more trading swords around with just dropping them around. If I was in someone else's base right now, I could not drop my sword in the bank whatsoever. It would just kind of do what it's done there, just kind of go up to like randomly to the side and just be able to be picked up again. So yeah, basically you can now no longer like kind of just give people swords and stuff. Now this does mean as well that the bank settings somewhere around here allow sell donations and bank donations. These are basically now just kind of redundant. Seems as though this is technically always set to off now for absolutely everybody. So yeah, there is no longer any sort of like donations to do. You might still be able to, well, I'd assume you'll still be able to trade these swords over anyway. So if you are just looking to do that, probably just use the trading function anyway. But yeah, that just basically, it's just no longer possible anymore. Another one as well is that the noob islands can now be entered from level 6 instead of level 10, meaning that for newer players it is actually going to be a little bit easier to go over and actually get your starter gems. Rather than waiting for level 10, you can now do this with level 6, which is always a welcome change as well. The last 3 bank slots can now hold more than one sword again. Now I'm not really too sure exactly what that means, whether it means these swords down here, maybe these had like a bit of a glitch or something with them, where like these 3 stands couldn't hold all 3 of them like you can see here. Not really too sure though, but apparently that's been fixed. As well as that, bank stands will no longer eat your swords either, meaning that they will just no longer disappear randomly for some reason. The second and third ascenders as well have also finally had their update, because you might have known for a lot of people who were level 250, you couldn't use the second ascender. As you can see though now, it has actually been updated to the correct level, and it's actually level 400 requirement to get that second ascender slot. Of course you can still buy it, however, yeah, for free to play players, you're now going to need level 400 to get that ascender slot. And as well, the same thing for the third ascender, which is 800, and of course you still do need to do that achievement as well, which is to put in 150,000 souls into your machine. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. And another thing as well is that some exploits have been fixed as well, which means that it's obviously not going to be so easy for random people to get on top of the leaderboards and stuff like that. So that's always really good. However, we are now on to the most exciting part of the video, and that is the new codes. So as I mentioned in my previous shorts video, we were going to get some brand new codes. One of them was for a rainbow sword, which is of course the brand new Pride sword, as well as some like codes for the celebrations like the 100,000 visits and 1 million visits. So basically we do have 2 codes to use. One of them is like kind of like a combined joint for all of the visits, and then another one is for the Pride sword. So if you want to go to your codes, make sure you do open up your shop and just press the codes at the bottom. It will scroll straight to it. And to get the Pride sword, all you need to do is type in Pride 23, press redeem, and as you can see, boom, we now have the Pride sword sat in our inventory. And then for the second one, which is going to give you a ton of boost and a ton of cash and gems and stuff, it is just 1 mil, just like this. Press redeem for that, and as you can see, we actually instantly start up with the boost right there, and we get a ton of gems as well, and I believe we did get a little bit of cash, so it's a lot good. Well, it's a lot better for like newer players as well. For the more veteran players, or the players who have been playing for quite a while and have quite a high level, it's not really too much. However, that luck boost and that XP boost can be really decent, and you know, of course, that damage boost isn't really going to be anything too major for most people right now. But yeah, there you can see, of course, we now do have some brand new codes to the game, which will give you some gems. I think that was around 8,000 gems there, which is always pretty good. So yeah, let me know down below what you guys think of this brand new update. Thank you guys so much for watching. Actually, wait, no, before we do that, we need to check out the Pride sword. So as you can see, this is the Pride sword, and actually looks really, really good right there. Really nice design as well, and of course does have the rainbow trail. This is of course because it is currently right now Pride month for all the LGBTQ plus members and everything like that. But as you can see, it's a really nice looking sword, has a really nice look as well in terms of like how it looks on the sword as well right there on the information. It's not really too great in terms of its stats. I believe it is only, yeah, as you can see, 15 times value, but it is still a free sword, and again, it is mostly just to kind of help players who are starting out, and just sort of like a collector's item as well. I'm not too sure if this code will ever expire. If it does, it may have some decent value in the future, so I'd probably recommend for most people right now just to save this sword, just in case it does get any value in the future. But yeah, now that is definitely it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.